Hey everyone, welcome back. We're switching gears a bit today and doing a deep dive into something you've all been asking for. We're taking a closer look at the rest and recovery chapter from Sean's book, Zero Fitness Fucks.
Yeah, this should be good.
It's funny, isn't it? We always talk about pushing harder, going further, more reps, more miles. But what if I told you that sometimes the best thing you can do for your fitness is actually nothing?
Exactly. It might sound kind of counterintuitive, but trust me, rest is absolutely crucial if you want to make any real progress in your fitness journey. In fact, Sean actually argues in his book that you can hurt your progress by over-exercising. Not to mention what it does to your immune system.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us have been kind of programmed to think that no pain, no gain is the only way to see results.
Yeah.
But Sean's personal story really challenges that. Remember that part where he talks about working out like crazy, sometimes from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m.?
Yeah, I remember that. And honestly, that kind of crazy schedule is a recipe for overtraining, and it can actually hold you back from getting stronger. Think about it. Your body needs time to repair those tiny muscle tears from exercise, right? And it needs to replenish its energy stores. Plus, it needs to boost your immune system.
Wow. Starting to really see why Sean called his book Zero Fitness Fucks. It's like he's telling us to forget everything we think we know about fitness and just listen to our bodies for once.
Exactly. It's all about finding a smarter way to approach fitness, one that puts your long-term health and well-being ahead of quick fixes or extreme routines.
Okay, so I'm sold. Rest is crucial for progress. But what's actually going on in our bodies when we rest? Like what makes us stronger and fitter?
Okay, so let's get down to the cellular level for a sec. When you work out, you're causing these tiny little tears in your muscle fibers, and when you rest, well, your body gets to work repairing those tears and actually rebuilds the muscle tissue even stronger than before.
So you're saying we don't get stronger during the workout? It's all about the rest afterward.
Pretty much. Think of your workout as a signal to your body. It's basically saying, hey, we need to get stronger to deal with this kind of stress. But the real work of getting stronger happens during rest. That's when your body adapts and grows.
That's pretty amazing. So rest isn't just about like Netflix and chill. It's an actual active process that's key to getting results.
Yep. And there's more. Rest is also crucial for replenishing your glycogen stores, which is basically the fuel that powers your muscles during your workouts. If you drain those stores, you'll feel wiped out, your performance tanks, and you need rest to refill those tanks so you can crush your next workout feeling energized and ready to go.
It's like if you keep driving your car without stopping for gas.
Yeah.
Right. Eventually you're going to be stuck on the side of the road.
Perfect analogy. Our bodies need rest, just like a car needs fuel. It's all about recharging to keep everything running smoothly.
Okay, so we've covered muscle repair and we talked about glycogen.
Right.
But you also mentioned that rest can actually boost your immune system. How does that work?
So as good as intense exercise is for you, it can actually kind of suppress your immune system temporarily. It's because your body is directing all its energy towards recovery and repair, and that can leave your immune defenses a little weaker.
So if we're constantly pushing ourselves without enough rest, we're making ourselves more likely to get sick.
That's right. Give your body the rest it needs, and your immune system gets a chance to bounce back, making you less likely to catch a cold or whatever's going around.
Man, that is a seriously compelling reason to prioritize rest. And hold on, it's not just about our physical health either, right? Doesn't Sean also talk about the importance of rest for our mental well-being?
Absolutely. He actually talks about how all that chronic stress and lack of sleep can really mess with our mood, our ability to focus, and even how our brains work in general. He even goes as far as saying that a well-rested mind actually leads to better performance in your workouts.
Wow, so it's like our muscles and our brains need a break.
Exactly. Think about it. When you're exhausted, are you really at your best? Whether you're in the gym or just living life, I know I'm not.
So true. I am definitely not my best self when I'm sleep deprived.
And that's what Sean's getting at in the book. He wants us to get it. Rest isn't some luxury. It's something we need to achieve our goals and just live a good life.
Okay, so I think we're all on board with the whole rest is important thing. But where do we even start? Like, how do we actually bring more rest into our lives?
There are a bunch of strategies based on real science that we can talk about, but first things first, it's got to be more than just what you do after a workout. You got to think bigger picture. It's about making rest a part of your entire lifestyle.
So we're talking more than just stretching and ice baths, right?
Right. Those things can definitely help, but it's about looking at everything. How are you managing your stress levels? Are you getting enough good sleep? Is what you're eating helping you recover?
Okay, so let's start with the basics. Sleep. Sean's a big advocate for making sure we're getting enough shut-eye. What does he recommend for improving our sleep?
He's all about getting 7 to 9 hours of uninterrupted sleep each night. And he doesn't just focus on how much you sleep, but also on the quality of your sleep.
So what does quality sleep even mean? Is it just about not waking up in the middle of the night?
That's part of it for sure, but it's also about creating the right sleep environment. Think dark, quiet, and cool. And ditch those screens before bed. Having a relaxing bedtime routine can work wonders too. It signals to your body that it's time to wind down.
What about sticking to a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends?
Oh yeah, that's huge. Being consistent is so important for regulating your body's natural sleep-wake cycle, which is also known as your circadian rhythm. And keeping that in sync can really make a difference in how well you sleep and your overall health.
So fascinating how much science backs up something as simple as getting enough sleep.
Hmm.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about food. What role does nutrition play in recovery?
It's like your car needs the right fuel to run properly, right? Well, your body needs the right nutrients to repair and rebuild after a workout.
I remember Sean talking a lot about electrolytes and BCAAs, especially after those tough workouts. Why are those so important?
They're super important for replacing electrolytes that you sweat out, especially during intense workouts or if you're exercising in the heat. And BCAAs, which stands for branched chain amino acids, they're the building blocks for muscle protein synthesis, which basically helps you recover faster and reduces muscle soreness.
Got it. So that makes sense for right after a workout. But what about the rest of the time? What should we be focusing on for our everyday nutrition to help with recovery?
It's all about giving your body a wide range of the nutrients it needs to work at its best. Make sure you're getting enough protein for muscle repair and growth, complex carbs for sustained energy, and those healthy fats for hormone production and your overall well-being.
So it's not just about what we eat after a workout, but about creating healthy eating habits for every day.
Exactly. Remember, your body is always building and repairing itself, not just after you hit the gym. So make sure you're fueling it consistently with nutrient-rich foods, and that'll help with recovery and keep you healthy overall.
Wow, this is all super helpful. So we've covered sleep and nutrition. What are some other things that might be helpful for our listeners?
Actually, there are quite a few. We can dive into active recovery, stretching, massage therapy, cold water immersion, and even things like mindfulness practices.
Okay, that is a lot to unpack. We'll dive into those other recovery strategies after a quick break, and we'll explore how to integrate them into a more holistic approach to fitness and well-being. Stay tuned.
You've probably seen this all over TikTok. It's called Primus 3, the performance-enhancing electrolyte supplement that's taking the fitness world by storm. Packed with vitamins and amino acids, it's designed to boost your workouts and recovery. Available in delicious flavors, Primus 3 is the secret weapon for athletes and fitness enthusiasts everywhere.
So before the break, we were diving deep into the foundations of recovery, like sleep and nutrition. But now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something called active recovery.
Active recovery. I've definitely heard that term thrown around, but I'm not really sure what it actually means. Doesn't mean I got to work out even more.
No, not really. Active recovery is more about doing low-intensity movement to help with blood flow and reduce muscle soreness without putting a ton of stress on your body.
Gotcha. So what kind of activities are we talking about here?
Think like gentle walks, light swimming, easy bike rides, or even some chill yoga. Anything that gets you moving, but without pushing yourself too hard.
Okay, so it's kind of like giving your body a gentle nudge in the right direction instead of slamming on the gas pedal.
Yeah, exactly. Active recovery helps to flesh out all that metabolic junk that builds up during your intense workouts, and it helps get your blood flowing to speed up tissue repair.
And this is something Sean talks about in Zero Fitness FucX, right?
He does. He's actually a big fan of adding active recovery days into your weekly routine, especially after a really tough workout. He thinks it can really help you recover faster and avoid overtraining.
So ditching the couch all day after a hard workout.
Pretty much. A little gentle movement can do wonders for helping your body bounce back.
Gotcha. Okay, so you also mentioned stretching as a recovery strategy. Can you tell me more about how that helps?
Stretching is awesome for improving flexibility and reducing muscle tension, and it can really help increase your range of motion. It's especially good after a workout when your muscles are all warm and more flexible.
So are there different types of stretching that are better for recovery?
Yeah, there are two main types: static stretching and dynamic stretching. Static stretching is all about holding a stretch for a while, usually like 30 to 60 seconds. Dynamic stretching, on the other hand, is more about moving your joints and muscles through a full range of motion.
And which one's better for after a workout?
Static stretching is generally better after you're done working out because it helps lengthen your muscles and reduce tightness. Think about classic stretches like holding a hamstring stretch or a quad stretch.
What about dynamic stretching? When's the best time for that?
Dynamic stretching is a really great way to warm up before you exercise because it increases blood flow to your muscles and gets them ready for action. Think arm circles, leg swings, torso twists, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. So static stretching after workouts and dynamic stretching before, like bookends for a solid workout routine.
I like that. And honestly, even just a few minutes of stretching each day can make a noticeable difference in how your body feels and how well you perform.
Okay, so we talked about active recovery and stretching, which you can both do on your own.
Mm.
But you mentioned some other recovery things that might need a little more professional help, like massage therapy and cold water immersion.
Yep, those can be really beneficial too. Massage therapy is a great way to release muscle tension, improve circulation, and reduce inflammation. There are different types of massage, but Sean mentions sports massage in his book. That one's specifically designed for athletes and people who are really active.
I've heard good things about sports massage, but I
Mm.
feel like it can get a bit pricey. No.
Yeah, it's definitely an investment, but it can be worth it if it fits into your budget. It can be seriously effective for getting rid of muscle soreness, preventing injuries, and just speeding up your overall recovery time.
Okay, what about cold water immersion?
Hmm.
I know some athletes swear by ice baths, but honestly, it sounds a bit brutal.
It can be a shock to the system for sure, but it's super effective for reducing muscle soreness and inflammation. Basically, you just submerge yourself in cold water, usually around 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 10 to 15 minutes.
So how does that even work? Why does freezing your butt off help your muscles recover?
Well, the cold temperature constricts your blood vessels, which helps reduce swelling and inflammation. Then, when your body warms back up, fresh blood rushes back to the area. That helps flush out metabolic waste and brings in nutrients to help you heal.
So it's like a reset button for your muscles.
You got it. And yeah, ice baths aren't the most comfortable thing in the world, but a lot of athletes find that they make a huge difference in muscle soreness and recovery time.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. It seems like a lot of recovery involves some level of discomfort. No pain, no gain, right?
Well, I wouldn't say pain exactly, but there's definitely a sense of pushing past your comfort zone, challenging your body in new ways. And that discomfort, it can actually lead to some pretty amazing results.
That's true. I mean, if you always play it safe and stay in your comfort zone, you're never really going to grow or learn anything new.
Exactly. And that goes for both your mind and your body.
Speaking of the mind, you mentioned mindfulness practices as a recovery strategy. How does that fit in with everything else?
Well, in his book, Sean talks about how real recovery isn't just about the physical stuff, it's also about taking care of your mental and emotional well-being. Mindfulness practices like meditation or deep breathing exercises can be crazy effective for reducing stress, calming your nervous system, and improving sleep quality.
So it's kind of like giving your mind a break, not just your body.
That's a great way to put it. In our world today, we're just bombarded with information and stimulation constantly. So carving out some time for stillness and mental rejuvenation is super important.
So what are some easy ways that people listening can bring mindfulness into their everyday lives?
There are a ton of simple things you can try. You can start with just 5 minutes of deep breathing exercises each day. Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and just focus on your breath as you breathe in and out. There are also some really cool guided meditation apps out there that offer a ton of different meditations for stress reduction, better sleep, and even improving your focus.
I've tried guided meditations before, and I have to admit they're surprisingly effective. It's amazing how much calmer and more centered I feel after just a few minutes of mindful breathing.
It's like hitting the pause button on all the mental chaos and just allowing yourself to be in the moment.
This has been so insightful. It seems like we have a ton of options when it comes to recovery strategies.
We do, and that's actually a really good thing. The key is to figure out what works best for you and what your body needs.
So how do we know which strategies to prioritize? It can feel kind of overwhelming with all these choices.
That's a great question, and something we'll definitely explore in more detail after the break. We'll talk about how to personalize your recovery routine based on your lifestyle, fitness goals, and what you personally prefer. So stay tuned.
You've probably seen this all over TikTok. It's called Primus 3, the performance-enhancing electrolyte supplement that's taking the fitness world by storm. Packed with vitamins and amino acids, it's designed to boost your workouts and recovery. Available in delicious flavors, Primus 3 is the secret weapon for athletes and fitness enthusiasts everywhere.
Okay, so before the break, we were talking about all these different recovery strategies, And it can be a little overwhelming trying to figure out where to even start.
Yeah, I get it. There's no magic formula for recovery. What works for one person might not work for someone else.
So how do we personalize our recovery routines? What are some key things to keep in mind?
Well, start by thinking about your lifestyle. How active are you throughout the day? What kind of workouts do you usually do? Do you have a job that's physically demanding? All these things can affect how much recovery you actually need.
Right, like someone who's working construction all day and hitting the weights 5 times a week probably needs more recovery than someone with a desk job who goes for a walk a couple of times a week.
Exactly. And it's not just about how intense your activity is, but also the type of activity you're doing. Some activities like running or lifting weights put more stress on your muscles and joints than others like swimming or yoga.
So if I'm a runner, I should probably be doing more stretching and foam rolling to help with tight muscles and prevent injuries.
That's a perfect example. And if you're a weightlifter, you might want to focus on getting enough protein and BCAAs to help with muscle repair and growth.
This is making a lot of sense. So lifestyle and type of workout are important. What else should we be thinking about when we're trying to personalize our recovery?
It's also super important to think about your individual needs and preferences. Some people just naturally recover faster than others, and some people just find certain recovery strategies more enjoyable or effective.
Just like anything else in life, right?
Yeah.
We had to experiment a bit and figure out what works best for us.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to recovery. The key is to pay attention to what your body is telling you and adjust your approach as needed.
And this is something Sean talks a lot about in Zero Fitness Fucks, right? That whole listen to your body thing.
He does. He's big on reminding us that our bodies are actually really smart and they'll give us clues about what they need. So if you're always feeling sore or tired or just not motivated to work out, it could be a sign that you need to prioritize recovery a little more.
So how do we get better at recognizing those signals? I think a lot of us are so used to just pushing through discomfort that we've kind of lost touch with what our bodies are trying to tell us.
That's true. One way to build that awareness is through mindfulness practices like meditation or body scan techniques. These practices can help you become more tuned in to those subtle sensations in your body like muscle tension, fatigue, or even pain.
It's almost like learning how to understand your body's language.
Exactly. The more you pay attention to what your body's trying to tell you, the better you'll be able to give it what it needs.
This has been so helpful. I feel like I have a much better grasp on how to approach recovery in a way that's holistic and really tailored to my own needs.
Awesome. And remember, even small changes can make a big difference. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just start by adding 1 or 2 new recovery strategies into your week and see how you feel.
Okay, so if someone's listening and thinking, all right, I'm convinced recovery is important, but where do I even begin? What's one simple thing they can do today to start improving their recovery?
If I had to pick just one thing, it would be to make sleep a priority. Make sure you're getting at least 7 to 8 hours of good quality sleep every night. It seems simple, but it's honestly one of the most powerful things you can do for your overall health and well-being.
It really is the foundation for everything else.
It is. Getting enough sleep sets the stage for your body and mind to recover properly.
I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We busted the myth of no pain, no gain, explored the science behind why rest is so important, and even discovered some practical strategies to help us recover better.
And maybe the biggest takeaway is that prioritizing rest isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of intelligence and self-care. So true. When we embrace rest as part of our fitness journey, we're not just setting ourselves up for better results, we're investing in our long-term health and happiness.
I love that. And for anyone who wants to dig even deeper into this topic, I definitely recommend checking out Sean's book, Zero Fitness Fucks. It's packed with insightful advice and practical strategies to rethink how we approach fitness and create a more balanced and sustainable lifestyle.
It's been awesome diving into the rest and recovery chapter with you today. I feel like I've learned so much, and I'm sure our listeners have too.
Me too.
So as you go about your week, I encourage you to think about your own relationship with rest and recovery. What's one small change you can make this week to add more downtime to your routine? Whether it's creating a regular sleep schedule, trying out a new recovery strategy, or just giving yourself permission to relax and recharge. Remember, rest is not a luxury. It's an investment in your well-being. Until next time, happy resting.